you have to have the right peaceful energy to attract happy money. And unless you do that, you attract unhappy money. So if you just buy gold out of fear, that gold is a source of fear. Mm-hmm. So whenever you take a look at the chunk of gold you bought, you see fear. That's why I'm not recommending people to buy gold or Bitcoin out of fear, because it symbolizes your scarcity mentality. So unless you just do out of love, out of trust, whatever you buy to feel secure becomes a symbol of scarcity, ironically. So you have to be very careful what kind of energy you put out to a certain thing. So that's why people have a hard time leaving a boring job, because they think that is a source of security. It's not.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Ken Honda, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, befriend your money.
After doing a lot of research, I realized that there are only 3 relationships with money. Money controls you, or you control money, or a balanced friendship. In other words, you can be a master or slave or friend. And ideal situation is you become friend with money, because your best friend cares about you, and best friend thinks with you, and your best friend works with you. So if your relationship with money becomes that, I think you'll be much, much happier.
Rule number 3, radiate positive energy.
First of all, you have to really know what kind of energy you're emitting, because what you get is what you give. So what you gave in the past is coming back to you. So you have to be aware of what's going on in your life. If you're sending out a lot of love, you receive a lot of love. Highly sensitive people tend to give out a lot of fear. That's why they're attracting a lot of fear. So if you feel comfortable in a society or among friends or in a crowd, and if you feel so much love, I call it love bubble, and then surround yourself with a lot of fun, like pinkish, goldish energy around you. Nothing hurts you. And then, you bump into the best people, when you think best people in town, and then they want your service, and they're so happy to see you because they've been looking for somebody like you for years.
Rule number 4, give and receive unconditionally.
This gets to a valuable concept, which is, and this is actually a really difficult one in the States, and maybe it's throughout the Western world. And I was thinking about this with my parents and my dad's birthday coming up, and how growing up, I love my parents very much, but gifts always came with strings. They were, yes. I like to say the gifts were weaponized. And so here in the West, we have a very hard time accepting, receiving, and I believe that can cut off the flow. What do you think?
Yeah, you said it so right. It's not only the West. I think it's the same in Japan, and usually there is some hidden message in the gift. I give you this, so you become a good boy. I give you this, so you take care of my retirement. So
yes.
It's sometimes not hidden. It's obvious, because some parents say that to their kids. I brought you up, so now payback times.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's very obvious. So we're not used to this unconditional giving and unconditional receiving. So a mastery road to happy financial independence is conditional giving and conditional receiving. And in the process of learning that, you feel more depressed and frustrated and so happy and overjoyed. and you experience so many emotions on the way, and then finally you just bump into this beautiful road, like, wow, this is, is this heaven? That what you give unconditionally will come back immediately. I started the campaign or book giveaway, in the depressing time. I thought, okay, maybe I just can give away my books that are in my storage unit. And so, okay, I decided to give away 1,000 books, cost me about $10,000 or more. But it's okay because, now it's a cleaning up time. And I did that. So the day that I announced doing that, all my past books got reprinted. I got an email from a publisher saying the book royalties that I get are the same amount that it's going to cost. It's going to cost for giveaway. So like, wow, that fast? I haven't even shipped the first book. Then I get the money. So this is how fast it gets.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, feel abundant.
What's the ultimate goal of having a good relationship with money? Is it about earning more, or is it something else?
The key is abundance. If you feel abundant about life, so no matter how much you make, how much you spend, if there's a beautiful flow, and then you don't have to be so uptight about it. You don't have to be so careful about it anymore. So that's sort of like a ideal situation. You don't have to be super wealthy in order to be happy. So I think, realistically, if you just reach a level of financial happiness and certain abundance, you don't have to do so many things. All you have to do is find your gifts, find your true calling, and start living it. And you don't have to be super well known, or you don't have to, sell millions of products under your name.
Rule number 6, value invisible assets.
I think you're just focusing on too much visible assets. I often talk about invisible assets. That could be your youth, your energy, and also your friends and your ideas and your heart. We just unfortunately we value how much money you have in your bank account or how you own things. But in life, there are so many invisible assets that you can count on. So instead of having so much money in your bank account, if you have 10 good friends who just let you stay for a week or so, you can keep on living. The other day I wrote down how many friends I have, and then I realized I have more than 50 friends who can just feed me for a week. So you just keep visiting your friend every week until the next year comes. So you can live off of your friendship for a year. That's financial independence. So you may think you're broke financially, but you may have other different assets. So start counting what you have. If you have a roof over your head, that's a great luxury.
Rule number 7, create beautiful relationships.
I ask each one of you to write down a best friend's name, people who can let you stay for a week or a month. And if you have more than 10 friends, you're a lucky person. And I wrote down all the, my friend's name, and there are about 70 or more. And I realized if I ask them to let me stay with them for a week, I can go to my friend number 2 and number 3 and number 4, and there are only 52 weeks a year. And after 50 friends, you can come back to your friend number one and say, long time no see. Can I
staying here again?
And then you don't need any money, right? So even if you have millions of dollars in a bank, what if somebody sued you? What if government gets it? What if there will be a bank run? Or what if? The real security lies in the relationships and friendships and the people who make sure that you're not gonna fall. They'll catch you. That is the biggest security. So I think creating beautiful relationships that, like you're teaching, is really, really the key to happiness and also financial security.
Rule number 8, be obsessed.
Why are so many good people without the money?
It's because they are not interested. It's because they don't care about money as much as other like so-called bad people, right? Some bad people are obsessed with money energy. So just think about it. If you're just collecting baseball cards, and if you're so into it, you want to make sure you get the collection right. And if other people are not, I like the cars, but I'm not so, I'm not like so picky about those. So I guess, the ones who are very eager to get those cars will get them. So that's all. It's nothing to do with people being good, with a good heart or bad heart. It's just about the volume of energy of attachment to money. So think about it. If it's like collecting pebbles or seashells, whoever wants to collect pebbles in your house, just think about it. If somebody loves collecting pebbles from a riverside and then stuck them in a closet, and then when you open the closet, all the pebbles come out. Like, how stupid is that? But if they're obsessed with pebbles, they must have a lot of pebbles in the closet. That's like money. I'm using a lot of analogy, so I hope you can get it.
Rule number 9, find the right spot.
Our next question is coming from Heather, and she's asking, how can I come over a lifetime crippling feeling that I have a lack of self-worth? My money block is that other people get to have abundant lives, but I'm not worthy of it. I have been fired from jobs a few times, and that makes me feel rejection and truly challenging for me to claim my self-worth.
Yes, now I feel the pain of you, and it hurts when you feel like you're unworthy and you're being rejected a few times. But being rejected a few times doesn't mean that you don't have value or you're not worthy. It just simply means that you're not in the right place. I think the most important thing in life is you have to be in the right place to meet the right person and to be able to work at the right place. So I think you're simply in the wrong place. So, for example, I always imagine if John Lennon worked in accounting office, would he be happy or not? And he'd be probably scolded by his boss, like, don't sing, just do the books. So if you're, even if you have a great talent, if you're in the wrong place, people will ridicule you or scold you or not appreciate you. But if you're in the right spot, people respect you and people worship you and people appreciate you. So being fired several times means that you're being in wrong places. That's all. It doesn't mean anything else.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is think, feel, and act the same way.
I think you have to sort out these three. How you think, how you feel, and how you act has to be the same.
So they need to check in and check to see, am I thinking right? Am I acting right? Am I feeling right? And it's got to be aligned.
Yes, exactly. So most of us feel like, even though we know we have to do this, but, I'm sure all of us, I have experienced the same thing, you have to break up with her or break up with him, or I have to leave the job. but you can't because you're too afraid. So it may take a little while for the fear to go away, or you jump over anyway. So it takes some time and courage, and so I'm not blaming you to do it right away. And it's natural for us to stop. So just I hope you forgive yourself for not being able to just act in 2 seconds. I think most of us, the biggest problem, I think, especially today, is that we are so afraid of money. And so as much as we want money, we are so scared of it. So
why do you say that? I think that hit me as very counterintuitive. Why do you think people are scared of money?
It's because of a money trauma. I call it money wounds that we've had since our childhood. We used to have some, unless your parents are perfect, and unfortunately it's not the case in any culture. So we've been scolded about money. We spent too much, we wasted the money, or we denied karate lesson or soccer lesson or ballet lesson or piano lessons because it's expensive. Some of my friends were taught, you are not worth it. That's a big blow. So we've been denied so many times around money. So that's why, as much as we want money, because we feel money can buy happiness, or money can buy at least freedom. But at the same time, money have been abused us for so many ways. So as much as we want to get close to it, but if we get too close to it, we get burns or hurt. So for a lot of people, money is a mystery person.
So how do they begin to change that relationship? I'm assuming some of this is going to be just narrative around how they talk to themselves about money. What do you advise people?
You have to start watching your language. My mother used to say that. And then around money especially, a lot of people say I was ripped off. So there are so many negative language around money. And my mentor Wahe said, you have to use positive words around money. Otherwise, money will not like you. And I thought it's very cute, And then in my book, I talk about what if money were a person, who would it be like? Is that person a gentle person or angry person? So just, you have to pay attention to how you relate to money. If you just feel like money is just a thing, like you don't care, but if you don't care, you end up being in debt. So you have to be very careful and respectful for money. And what I found out is that people want to learn about money IQ, which is about financial intelligence. It's about investing, how to buy stocks, and how to trade, and all the other things. But what I found out is that money EQ is more important than money IQ. Money EQ is emotional intelligence about money, how healthy you feel with money. A healthy relationship is that when you feel happy about money, your money EQ is high. When you constantly worry about money and you have fear on money, your money EQ is low. And the highest money IQ people with all the MBAs and all the doctor degree, they are good at investing and they're super good with business. But these high money IQ people often lose everything because of low money EQ. Even though you built a high tower with money IQ, the foundation is shaky, it's gonna fall. So money EQ is a foundation of life. For example, if you get a $500 raise, which is great, but can you keep the money? Probably you will celebrate your raise and spend it all. And then if you get a $2,000 raise, which is great, probably you're going to move to a better and bigger house, and then you're going to probably buy a bigger car and more expenses go up. So even though you get a raise, you make more money, your expenses also are trying to match your income, so you have no money at the end of the month anyway. I have known many CEOs who are making a few $100,000 a year, but still they cannot keep any money left because their lifestyle consumes all the money. So unless you learn about money EQ and how the solid foundation, you'll never be able to feel peace with money, and you'll never be able to achieve true financial independence. I had this opportunity to meet my mentor later on. His name is Wahe Takeda. So when I asked him to teach about money, he said his first lesson is forget about money. So I was so confused.
Yeah, one of the things that I found super confusing, and people, where I was going is the notion of a Zen koan. And this is something that people probably in the US anyway be tangentially familiar with. Mm-hmm. The most famous one we talk about is what is the sound of one hand clapping? Mm-hmm. And there are many Zen koans which are like beyond confusing. And of course, the idea is once you understand sort of the absurdity of the question itself, and of course, I'm doing this from a logical perspective, and Zen is, I think, meant to be very different than that. But just to give people an anchor point, once you understand the absurdity of the question, then it's like you're a step closer to enlightenment. So when he said forget about money, what was he trying to get you to? Like, what does that mean? Because obviously it's not truly forget that it exists.
Yes.
So what does he mean?
So I think he meant about where I focus. Because if you want money, you have to forget about money. You have to forget about what you can give to other people, how much service you can give out to the world, and then you receive money. So he was telling me not to focus on money because money is the end result of what we get after serving the world. So instead of focusing on what you get, you have to really focus on what you give. And our life is in the middle of giving and receiving. So unless we receive well, unless we give well, we can receive. So we are in this cycle of appreciation or resentment. Either cycle you're in, your life exists. So if you start appreciating your life about everything, including money, your life will be filled with money and appreciation. If your life will be filled with resentment, anger, and fear around money and also around life, your life will be also surrounded by fear and resentment and anxiety. Treat money with respect. And whenever we receive money, that's a miracle because somebody chose you as a client or a person that to work for. So you can appreciate your boss, your clients, or the company you're working for to making a miracle and just pay you the money. So you can feel, thank you. And then, bless the money in a most beautiful way. I used to serve a cup of tea for my father's clients when I was 9 or 10. I really enjoyed it because I just annoy them with all those professional questions like, what's your ROE or how are you making profit in your company, sir? And they're like, they feel so intimidated. So I really enjoy giving them very difficult questions. And since then, I've seen some entrepreneurs do well and some entrepreneurs do not so good. Even if they're the same age, same educational background, their financial outcome is so different. And I realized that certain people have gifts around making money, and others have this blocks and unwillingness to do business. So your attitude toward money is either positive or negative. So positive people tend to attract more money, and whereas negative, if you have a negative attitude around money, you tend to lose it. You have a hard time keeping it because you feel deep inside, if money is bad, you don't want any bad thing in your house. So I always often talk about it as a joke. Just imagine money as a monster or pet in your house. Is that like a Pokemon fun pet in your house? Or it becomes a monster that could eat you up, your parents or your kids? If you think money is scary, you don't want a scary thing in your house. And so if you have a positive attitude around money, you'll be very good at making money. And if you have somewhat negative attitude toward money, you want to keep some distance. That's why some people are very good at attracting money. Other people are like, I'm okay with enough. If as long as I can pay all the bills, I'm fine. Well, as long as I'm on survival mode, but still I can survive, I'm okay. So it's up to you how comfortable you feel around money and business. In my mind, wealth is an emotion. It doesn't really matter how much you have, how much you make. Because I've interviewed over the course of my career, I've interviewed many millionaires and billionaires, and some of them are very unhappy and very upset with everything. I'm sure you've met some happy ones and very unhappy ones. So, and also among the people who are struggling with life, there are also happy people and unhappy people. So I think wealth is an attitude. If you feel like you're so happy and so content with what you have, you are already wealthy. But if you have if you have to struggle every day and you cannot find happiness either in your business or in personal life, I think you're not wealthy, even if you have billions in your bank account. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to have money. And what I find about money is that the questions are universal. If I go to China, Europe, North America, Japan, all the questions are very similar. And most of us have a hard time receiving money because we feel somewhat unworthy of ourselves. So when money was offered to us, even though it's a legitimate work, we render service or do work, but we still feel shy when it comes to receiving money. So in a way, we are super good at giving, but we are lousy at receiving. So receiving is the first rule of money EQ. And if you have a hard time receiving money, think of the other way around. When we try to give something and the other part, your friend or whoever that is, say, no, I can't accept that. You feel kind of funny, like I want you to receive it, because receiving is the other end of cycle of giving. So unless you receive, somebody cannot give. So you're receiving for the giver too. So if you understand this cycle of appreciation of both receiving and giving, you have to end the cycle of this giving and receiving by being a receiver side. So you may feel a little funny or strange or blocks at the time. You take one more step and just with a smile, thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you, I accept that. If you open your heart and accept financial reward or smile or appreciation, whatever that is, if you are willing to open up to new possibility, you complete the cycle. So be willing to do that for the giver, because if you graciously accept the money, they feel great too. They feel the joy of giving. So just imagine this, by receiving beautifully, you give the giver the joy of giving. So just a little practice, and it takes a lot of courage, a lot of openness on your side to do. But once you're open and start receiving, you realize that how much money, friendship, and care and support you haven't been able to receive. And then you feel like, wow, all the things I didn't receive were there. And then you'll be surprised the cycle of receiving and giving will accelerate in your life. A lot of time we write checks with resentment. Oh, I have to, give this person or give the company or write taxes, pay taxes. Ooh. But instead, we can appreciate when we pay some money, because in exchange for the money, we got something, either services or goods. So in exchange, we can appreciate and let go of the money. And Wahid taught me the mantra. So money, money, money. Go out, bless the world, and come back with your friends. There's nothing to do with the level of income you can gain, and also with your physical condition. Unless your work is a manually labor-related thing, these days most of the work are on computers, or even if you're on wheelchair, you're physically, if you have a physical handicap, your ability of making money doesn't get influenced. So I suggest you start assessing your life. there must be something you're good at that you like or you find joy. And if you find some gifts that you're good at something, and you have to focus on that and improve your skills and gifts. For example, if you're good at making crafts, that's one way of making more money. If you're good at making a web page, that's also another income source. And if you're good at writing, you could make a nice, beautiful tagline for companies. Or if you're good at helping people, you can do that online. And so there are so many things you can do online. The key is that you create, or you can come up with many different ideas. Those people to get the knowledge from me, because the reason why you're in credit card debt is you didn't have enough knowledge. Probably you didn't have the right mentors or teachers around money. So I want you to know more about money, so that way you can get out of the debt and start saving enough money, and someday very soon you find your financial independence in your future. Happy money is money that makes you smile when you receive it and gives you joy when you spend it. Just imagine like a 10-year-old boy buys a rose for his Mother's Day with his allowance and give it to his mom and say, "Mom, thank you so much, I love you." That is happy money. And all the money that we donate to the charity or the people who lost their homes, and I really appreciate American people for sending us a lot of money and a lot of mineral water and food after the earthquake about 8 years ago. We were so touched by the generosity of Americans. You know, they were the first to arrive to the earthquake place, and then they helped us so much. So that is happy money too. So all the money spent and dealt with love, friendship, and care, that's happy money. You know it, because when you receive happy money, that touches your heart and says, thank you. So it could be a grandparents giving you money, or your friend, or a stranger. But as long as it's given out of love, that's happy money.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video, because you are awesome. If you want the most valuable advice from successful people, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe. I'll see you there.
I think we actually saw this. I think you see it all over the place in many different contexts, but I think we saw it in the internet world quite a bit, where, you know, at the sort of peak of the